This is take 2 on the video. So what you're going to do is you are going to go into your class, click content. You're going to scroll down to unit 4 and you're going to open up the 4-2 assignment. So we're going to click on that. It will bring up 3 options. Just choose one. I'm going to show you how to do this one right here. It's very simple. So once you click on that, it's going to open up a Word document. So you're going to let that open. If it does not automatically open up for you, you will see it download and you can click the little caret and bring it up and have it open. Once you do have it open, it will say enable editing at the top. So you want to make sure that you do enable editing so that you are able to write directly on the document. So you want to make sure that you click on that. So what we're going to do is you only have to complete 5 terms for this assignment. So that means for those 5 terms, you're just completing columns 3 and 4. I've given you the term over here. I've given you the definition. Your job is to find something from the text that is an example of this term, whatever term you choose. There are 12. You choose 5. Then over here in this column, you are going to explain why this portion of the text is an example of the term. One other thing is make sure that you do use correct in-text citation. So you just make sure you put the quotation marks and make sure that you have the author. That is basically all that I'm grading. You don't necessarily have to say in the text it says. You may if you would like, but as long as you have quotation marks around it and Hearst in parentheses, over here you could say in the text or this quote from the text is an example of. So I'm going to complete 2 to help you and to be an example and show you how to do this. So you are free to use this example if you would like. So I'm going to do an example of personification. Personification is taking human characteristics and giving it to non-human things, inanimate objects, non-living things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go down to the text, which I have it attached to here, and I'm going to find something that talks about or that something from the text that gives something that is not human, and it gives it human characteristics. So right off the bat, actually, we see the first sentence. It was in the clove of seasons, summer was dead, but autumn had not yet been born. That the ibis lit in the bleeding tree. So we have 3 examples really here. A dead season, a living season, a season that's being born, and then a tree that is bleeding as if it were human. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go up here to my personification, and I'm going to paste it. I'm not finished once I paste it. I have to make sure that I put my quotation marks. So I'm going to put quotation marks here. I'm going to come down here, put the closing quotation marks, then put my parentheses, the author, and then the period from the quote goes outside, right here. Then over here, I am going to just say this, and you are free to say it however you would like to, but this quote is an example of personification because it gives the human characteristic of being born and dying to seasons and bleeding to a tree. None of those are human. Something like that. Okay, a tree is living, so I didn't want to say none of those are living, but none of those things are human. So therefore, it's giving those human qualities to something that is non-human. So you can put something like that or put your own words, fine, but you are allowed to use that if you would like. And I'm going to show you one more. I'm going to do flashback for you. Flashback is a form of presentation where the events occurred in the past. In all honesty, the entire story is told from the past. So if you can find any portion of the story where it talks about the past or talks about the brother remembering, and that's what comes to mind after I've read this story. So I'm going to highlight this part right here where it says, but sometimes, like right now, as I sit in the cool green draped parlor, the grindstone begins to turn, and time with all its changes is ground away, and I remember Doodle. So all of this is talking about past. So he is sitting back, he's going flashback, okay? He's having flashbacks to what happened in the past. So I'm going to copy that, paste that. I'm going to put my quotation marks here and here. Put first, closing parentheses, and then the period goes there. This quote is an example. You can say this quote or this piece of the text is an example of flashback. If I could spell, it might help. Because the narrator, who is the older brother, is sitting and remembering past and his brother Doodle. Just that simple. It doesn't have to be really involved in what you put in there, but just something that lets me know that you understand what the term is and how pieces of the text do represent that. So I completed 2 for you. If you want to pick those 2, that is fine. You may use those. You have my permission to use those. You need to do 3 more, choose 3 more. In my opinion, narrator is quite simple because all you have to do is show that the older brother is narrating it. Point of view is easy because it's first person point of view. So anything that's going to use I or my or we, that is going to be an example of point of view. You have symbol, anything that points to brother or to Doodle. The Scarlet Ibis and Doodle are symbols of each other, so that might be a little clue for you there. So any of those, you also have characterization and conflict, you have foreshadowing. So anything, any of the other 3 terms that you would like to use, feel free to do that, but you do need to complete a total of 5. You may use the 2 that I used here, and then just complete 3 more. Let me know if you have any questions.